Welcome to Meet the Voter. This is episode 31. It is Sunday, May 8th. And today we have Dr. Nicholas Hernandez from Laguna Beach, Progressive Democrat, a Bernie Sanders supporter. We have Jonathan Dinward, our Christian Socialist Democrat from Carson City, Nevada. I'm not sure who he's supporting these days. We have Bob Phelan, our political consultant from Central California and political professional. Really, you're the most professional. You're actually paid to do what you do. You're actually making a living out of this stuff. And we got Bill Conrad. I'm a conservative Republican who is fed up with the Republican Party. And I'm now a full-blown Trump supporter because he is our nomination, unlike what the Bushes have done, have gone against their word. So let me start out. I am so, my wife, for 5 years while I was overseas, has been really tired about the Republican Party. They got elected into power because of the Tea Party and others coming together. Then they did nothing of what they promised. So what do they expect? Now the establishment isn't even supporting their candidate. And not all the establishment, but for example, the Bushes. Bush is going against his word. Lindsey Graham is going against a word. These are not men of their word. When you say something, you sort of have to stick with it unless it's atrocious. And I don't see anything that's atrocious what Trump's doing. If anything, he's moderating. So that's my statement. Let's start out. Dr. Nicholas Hernandez, what's happening with the Bernie Sanders support? We know that Hillary Clinton's got CNN behind her.
Well, and all the media, all the, they lie constantly about his where he's at and how many votes, and then there's been immense voter fraud in every state they're suing, and the DNC is
Nevada too.
Everywhere. They're changing constantly. Bernie has picked up, I don't know, like 60 delegates this week from states where they already voted because they're realizing that there was voter fraud, and they're admitting it. The Democrats are admitting it, but the mainstream media won't talk about it. Only social media.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, you're independent out there. Are you independent? Who are you supporting these days?
Bernie. Well, it depends if Bernie. Bernie's got to make a decision, really, isn't he?
He's made it.
His public position is continued to the convention, and then force Hillary to give enough concessions that make it worthwhile for him to publicly state his support for her. The only problem with that is that she's a liar.
He won't do it.
And everything that comes out of her mouth is a lie. So when you're dealing with a person like that, what's the point of that argument? Doesn't really hold up. The only logical position is if she's forced to use those super delegates, which is totally undemocratic, he's got to really stand as an independent candidate, really, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Hey, Bob, it's up to you. What do you think? What happened this week?
I think that Bernie should run as an independent.
Tell me, Bob, first of all, what happened this week? Were you surprised?
No, I mean, I'm glad to see that Kasich got out. He had me really concerned there. That 1%er, he had me concerned.
Well, looking back, we had New York. Was it New York? No, it wasn't. Not New York. It was 2 weeks ago.
Lifetime ago.
We had Indiana.
Yeah,
and he really surprised people in Indiana, didn't he?
Well, yeah, that's a good thing. The stage was only about 2 feet off the ground for Cruiser. Hell, it could have been fatal for him. But he decided to drop out, and Carly decided to drop out with him. And Kasich decided to drop out with Carly, and then probably going to have a threesome or something like that and just have a great time. So I'm happy to see them go. And what's really good is the fact that now Bernie is still getting stiffed by the Democrats. And I keep waiting for the Democrat Party to say, enough of this Hillary crap. She's got a lot of stuff on her plate, which is corruption. And either get behind Bernie and let's have the debate between what Bernie wants and what Trump wants. And let Hillary go after a jail term, whatever. Just go and have some fun. But if not, Bernie, you look at Trump. I love he says, Bernie, run as an independent. If he does, Trump wins.
You know what?
I don't
think anybody can forecast anything at this time. There's just so many variables right now. What's really ironic and what's depressing to me is I consider Hillary, I honestly do, with my military, my security clearances, working where I work, I consider her a criminal. Because even if she's negligent, she should be in jail for what she did, period, with this classified material.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I heard several announcements that the FBI said they couldn't find anything. I don't know how accurate any of these are.
They've got a server with classified material on it.
Well, I I'm telling you, I heard several reports saying they couldn't find anything.
Do you have those reports? I haven't heard one thing that says that. One.
Yeah, I saw it several
ahead and
times on TV and on
Go ahead and
social
Google it.
media.
Bob,
No, you
Jonathan,
didn't.
have you heard anything of that?
No, that's a bunch of horse.
Nick, I've heard nothing. You got to Google it.
Do you think I'm making this up? Do you think I'm lying to you?
No,
Do you think I have any
somebody might
reason
have
to
made
lie
this
to you?
You can't say heard.
I don't.
Of course.
There's
One
but
thing we
I
do on
tell
the
you
show is
that
we
I
talk
saw
about
this.
sources. I'll
You know,
give you
you
some
can-
sources on our email. How's that?
Yeah, okay, we'll look it up, but I heard it, and I'm just
can I
telling you what I
say,
heard
Where'd you hear it, Nick?
can I say, gentlemen,
on TV.
this email is really important, but it's the least of Hillary Clinton's crimes.
I mean, I wish they'd get her, but I heard these things, and
It's just,
Who knows?
Honestly, I need you to give me links.
I totally agree with you, Bill, but in reality, it's the least of her consistent crimes against America.
Very well said. You have
To
the
me,
crimes
to me,
that
though,
Hillary
to me,
saying about
the
Hillary
hardcore thing is this email. Here's Political. That's pretty connected. They don't lean to the left, and if there's going to be anything about this FBI, it's going to be in Political right here.
I heard
Hillary Clinton's aides interviewed by FBI emailed probe this weekend.
I have
I
an important phone
personally-
call I have to get.
Go ahead,
I'll
Nick.
be right back.
God. I personally
Josh.
heard slightly different.
Josh. Josh. Yeah, hello.
Hey, we're going to go to a break. I'm
Hey,
going to pause for a
McFly.
second.
Yeah, how you doing, Josh?
Okay, we're coming back, and we're going to look at the Ryan comments on Trump, and also Bush. We might as well talk about Bush too. And not like I said earlier, I could talk about Bush W. and how he raised taxes to make his fortune on the citizens of Houston. Actually, promoted taxes, half the sales tax. How he didn't finish his flying commitment in the military and only made lieutenant in the Air National Guard after 8 years. We could talk about that, but now he's not a man of his word. At least W, not W, but
So I understand where you're coming from, Bill, but I consider those to be minor crimes and misdemeanors compared to him being a war criminal that started a war of aggression, which is against the #1 charter of the Nuremberg Tribunal. I just consider him to be a total war criminal.
well, he went to war against a dictator. I would say.
It's
He didn't
against
invade another country.
It's against the Nuremberg to pursue aggressive war, and that's what he is.
What's a non-aggressive war for the hell of it? Just
Yeah,
what is a
but
non-aggressive?
wars are aggressive. You got to be aggressive in a war.
Defensive
not-
wars. If you're attacked like Pearl Harbor, that's a different story.
Now, the Japanese were the aggressors there, like Hitler was the aggressor. But
Yeah, that's a different story.
you know,
Then,
it's well,
then
well
I think you have
established
the
that we
right to
should
go
not
to
gone
war
into.
to
I
defend
mean,
yourself.
I don't know if anybody knows we should have gone into Iraq.
Of course,
Anyway.
we shouldn't have. That was ridiculous. They had their
you
society
did have
was so
a
much better. We created ISIS with that move. Are you kidding me?
No, we created the Taliban with Charlie Wilson's war.
Well, that's Afghanistan, but in
Taliban-
Iraq,
and ISIS
now-
was really expanded with how Obama in the last 8 years has handled the administration. How handled the war. His foreign policy has been total failure.
well,
Total failure. Yeah, Secretary Hillary Clinton there leading the way.
it was horrible.
Yeah, bad. So anyway, the Republican establishment is still blown apart with some of the people. You had Romney, of course, is still there. Romney is the biggest loser in the party. He had his chance. Paul Ryan, of course, he lost his state last year.
But
And
Bill, now you're voting for Trump?
Yeah,
you know he's made the
Really?
Republican nominee.
Seriously?
Of course I am. You know what,
Oh,
Nick?
my God.
He wants to win, right? I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton has broken the law.
I'm not going to vote for Hillary either. But I'm not Trump. They've dumbed down America enough for people to vote for Trump. I mean, think about what you're
What are
saying.
your choices?
Think about what you're
Got
saying.
Obama, for
What are your
God's
choices? If Bernie gets in, there'll be some dialogue.
I don't think the American people are dumb, Nick. I think they're
I do.
I think they're desperate, and I think desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
Well, what is Trump? First of all, what's Trump doing right now in his policy that you don't like, Nick?
Besides being a racist, a misogynist.
No, I'm not talking. What's specifically?
No
What's he doing?
experience on international affairs, or the man
Closing the border, we've
is
had
a failure. It's going to be like Trump Steaks or Trump University. It's going to be a failure every which way. The man is like a complete idiot.
He made $10 billion. He likes to win.
First,
But winning is not. There's more
apologize.
important things than winning. How about being able to govern? And he can't.
Hillary govern?
I'm not for Hillary. I'm not for Hillary. Trust me. Not in a million years. I'm not for Hillary.
Bernie would give away free Trump steaks, free Trump phones, free Trump everything. He says, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're going to have a good combination."
Listen to the absurdness of your statement, Bob.
Well, listen to your statement about being
I just asked, what is Trump? Do you not like him that he's trying to tighten up the borders?
We had man call him a name.
Can I
in the
say
last
something?
90 days, we've had
Can
26 miners come walk across the border and surrender. 26,000.
Can I say something?
Sure. I'm gonna create a little room for a good-looking gal here.
Basically,
I got to pause for a second.
Hear me?
Yeah, Heather, loud and clear. Welcome, Heather. We've got Heather from Texas on. She's our conservative Republican businesswoman down there, Sexy Boss, right? Sexyboss.com or something like that.
SexyBossInc.com. Don't go to sexyboss.com. You'll get porn.
Did you happen to see Kellyanne Conway today on?
Yes, I did. She's a Republican. It sounds like ish.
When I ran, she was one of the few Republicans in D.C. It really helped out.
Yeah, she seemed nice, but I just found it interesting how they were. Chuck Todd has a view of Democratic obvious. It's very obvious, and how he went through the history about how March of whatever the year was, like in the polls and how it was. I mean, I found that really interesting. It's the fact that you got to remember some of those were March and April of a very what I call dud year in politics. So he's trying to think there's a matchup, and I just disagree with that completely. But that's my view, because most of those, March of whatever year before the actual general election, they haven't had a primary season that we've had. So I don't think it's a good match to see if that's actually going to be the same.
Are you talking about the polling right now? Trump is well behind the polling to Hillary.
I just, you got it. And I like how Donald Trump
depends on the poll.
Looks like boxing. One, it looks like boxing. He had to take out 17 other, competitors, or 16. And I just think that, he hasn't even focused on the Democratic election.
And were any of those 16 that are 17 that he knocked out worth a damn?
It doesn't even matter. You have to knock them out.
Any of them?
There are a lot of good people in that list.
There's a lot of good people. I just think you have to first look at. He had to knock out 16 before he could ever get there.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Well, what you really have to think about is that Trump was sold as a outsider candidate, but last week, two of the leading competitors just threw in the towel, and you really got to question why they did that, and you really got to question: is he really what he tries to make out, a outsider candidate? And you really got to ask the same question if you're a Republican as you got to ask Hillary Clinton. Is it, if you're a Democrat, is he going to really do any of the things that he publicly states? Because it's quite clear that Hillary Clinton isn't going to, anything she states doesn't really mean anything. So that's what you really, I thought it was quite interesting that, the Bushes aren't going to support him. Actually, I would want their support because it would be damaging to my objectives. So I wouldn't be upset about. But what is interesting is this idea that the establishment were going to fight him tooth and nail right up and rob. That's all disappeared, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the establishment, they can't fight. They can't take money now and fight him unless they want to support Hillary or Bernie.
Right.
They spent the establishment Republicans spent a lot of money, a lot of money fighting Trump. A lot of money.
But when it really comes to they were quite capable of stealing in it. All the rules could have been rewritten in committees, and they could have, even at the law. But what you got to ask yourself as a Republican that's looking for change: is he really going to stick to anything that he's publicly stated?
I want to say something. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
I want to say something about something that Trump said on Meet the Press, which I found really interesting. They were hammering him today on his quote unquote what he wants to do with tax reform. Okay, and he really made a good point. It was a proposal, because he knows in business and in life, it's a proposal. It's a particular view that he starts with. And then as I can't beat with a puppy. I can't beat with a puppy. Oh my God, that was adorable. So, and as he gets into, if he gets into the White House, he knows that as that time goes, people are going to fight for their own views, and that proposal is going to shift, and he's going to have to negotiate. I think that he's being really realistic. The problem is that we as Americans are not used to what I call realism politics. Most of our politics just sit there and go, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. They get elected, and then they get in there and go, oh, by the way, sorry,
Republicans absolutely lied to the Tea Party. And
right.
Republicans.
And I think that him saying that
leadership, not every
leadership. I mean, what he was saying was true leadership, because in business, he knows that too. He's going to start with a proposal, and then everyone's going to fight for their particular view, and they're going to end up somewhere in the space, right? But he's pointing that out up front, and I think we're not used to as Americans, because Hillary's over there going, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, knowing she can't someone get that stuff through the Congress and the House, but she's going to state that because she wants to get elected, and she's lying Hillary. To me, she's lying Hillary. So I just want to say that I like how Trump is positioning as from a business perspective, not just a political perspective.
Hey, I want to swing the discussion for a minute for the last 5 or 10 minutes of the recorded part. Jonathan, you should like this. On Meet the Press this morning, they started waking up and said, I think technology is changing elections.
Oh,
heard that.
Diebold certainly changes elections. Diebold has a great deal to do with changing elections.
What's that, Nick?
Diebold has a lot to do with changing elections. Those
voting. What's Diebold?
They make the voting machines.
Oh, okay.
No, we're talking about the technology of communication systems.
I'm going to get more coffee. Be right back.
Okay. We're going to pause for a second.
Yeah, I agree. We should be able to vote.
Kelly just brought up a good point, that the asking when can we start voting by online. And if you can vote absentee, I mean, there's some people who do not believe in the absentee ballot. In some areas in California, the whole precinct or whole district votes absentee because of costs. Yeah. The problem with absentee is you can have a family with like 3 or 4 ballots, and they all sit around a table, and maybe one person sort of fills it out and has everyone else sign it. So there's possibility of fraud when you do the absentee. Now, on the digital voting, the same thing could happen. But the idea of security with a certification with a name and the number who votes, that's there. I mean,
yeah. Can I ask Nick a question? Obviously, what I've researched, that California is not a closed ballot, but it's not a fully open ballot. It's a semi-closed or semi-open. What does that mean, Nick? How do people vote in California when we're in June?
Well, the thing is, you can vote either way. If you're an independent or unstated, you can go, in the primaries, you can vote any way you want. So it's, as far as I know, I'm not an expert on how California votes, but
I think I know a little bit more about California since I was there, and I've sort of watched it. It's evolved. You can vote across party lines in California, and then they take the top 2 voters in the primary assembly or Senate. Mm-hmm. And you can have 2 people from the same party running against each other in general.
No, I mean in the Democratic primary. In the Democratic primary, it's classified as a semi-open primary. What does that mean, Bill?
An open primary means you can go across. In California, you can vote. The Democrats can vote you can only vote for one, but you can vote on any candidate. For example, they have on a primary, they have Republicans and Democrats for assembly. You can vote. Bob would know better than this, but I'm pretty sure you can vote for either one. And then what they do is they take the top 2. I ran for assembly between deployments, and I just missed the new rules. They changed the rules 2 years later. I would have been in a runoff if they had those same rules, because I came in second, and it was all Republicans running for this district in California, which is the Mountain District.
Yeah, just because it's evident if it is in any shape or form a closed.
Let's pause for a second and bring Bob back in. He'll know the rules. Okay, come on, Bob. Hello. We're finishing up, folks. We have an interesting discussion about open borders, and we'll go unrecorded. Okay, that's enough of the recorded show for today. No more recording today. So, amazing.
Yeah, unless you're a relative of a slave, and then America's not so kind.
Say again, Nick?
I said, this ridiculous song, which I think is silly, is great unless you're
you just said this song is
relative of a slave. Yeah, I don't.
Hey, folks, we're opening it back up. We got Dakota from England calling in. How you like our new time, Dakota? You got to like it better.
I do, literally.
So what's going on with England and the separation from the EU?
Well, it's not really going that great for the people that want to stay. I think that we're really going to vote out. The EU is flawed, Nicholas, and I'm going to tell you that right now. We are wanting to leave specifically because of the things you say. And I think your logic is flawed, literally.
I have to agree with you, Nick. Your logic is very
I agree with you. The logic makes zero sense.
I'm about ready to have a
Economically?
heart attack right now because of the stress that you're giving me.
Sorry to be so jumping on you, but it just
Sorry.
frustrating.
Sorry.
Look, I've been this way my entire life, and
You sound
But you've
unpatriotic.
never left Northern California. Why don't you leave and go to the parts of the world and go to Afghanistan? and fight
this
the
is my
war?
home. My family's been here before it was a state.
No,
My
it's not.
family's
And
been
I
here-
have
Would you guys
lived in
stop?
Scotland since I was born.
Okay, you know, and so don't tell me to go away.
Yeah,
You guys
I'm a
go
native
away.
Californian too, from Southern
I'm a local.
California.
It's not about being a local.
I'm
It's
talking
about being able to see
my
the world.
family was here way before it was a state. Now, how many of you guys can say that?
And Nick, in Mexico is the same way. The Mexican citizens broke off from Mexico and became Texas. They fought alongside.
They fought and we won.
The Mexicans broke away from Texas.
Yeah.
At least
Mexicans?
half of the fighters were
Mexicans?
Mexican.
Wait a minute. The Mexicans, it was the American army that stole Texas, New Mexico,
Nick,
Arizona,
you don't
and
know your
California.
history. Nick, you don't know your history. The
You don't know your
Mexicans
history.
in Texas
That's not
broke away
history.
with.
No, that's not
That's
history.
not
Okay,
correct.
you're wrong.
Texas
But, you know,
history, one
I'm
on
fine.
one. That's not
I'm
true.
going to be it's me against three conservatives again, but that's all right.
Nick.
You're not going to convince me.
This is history. It's not about conservatism. It's history. What happened?
And you know history
Not
better
so
than
much
I
in
do.
California, but in Mexico, the Mexicans fought to break away from Mexico themselves, along with the settlers, other
Very
settlers.
few Mexicans fought.
Actually,
It
a
was
lot.
the Americans that did
It was
it.
I'm
Because
from
they got
Britain,
they had a lot of
and I
Mexican
know
fighters.
that your history logic is flawed. Literally, I do believe the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. Because literally, I know my history too. I have a history degree from Oxford. And literally, you are making no sense at all.
Mhm.
Nick,
Spread like
folks, this
chicken.
is after
Can
the
you
show.
let-
We got a little recording here. England is being destroyed by.
The damn
What-
Swedish hot chick.
Right, let that little cheeky man on here. Let me talk to that
All right,
cheeky
I'll
man.
let Ross Jeffries come on. Come on, Ross.
Come on, little cheeky man. Come on. Not you, little Bobby. I want to talk to that little Jeffrey.
That is hysterical. I'll pause it for a second.
Always be a good boy and never play with guns, but I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Have you had a few?
And when I hear that train a coming, I'll hang my head and cry. Johnny Cash, you lump.
Ross, welcome to Meet the Voter, meetthevoter.com. Your first time on.
Welcome.
Where are you from?
I'm from America's finest city, San Diego, California. I live about half a mile from the Pacific Southwestern Naval Command. So we're going to get whomped by the Russians if there's ever a war.
Yeah, right.
I can look across the bay, and I have a very good view of the USS Stennis aircraft carrier that's sitting in there for repairs.
I know a young captain who started a business. He was in Iraq. He went to San Diego to start his business, did very well down there in social media, new media. He made $2 million last year. That year, the hub
it's
of the new media.
Yeah,
Only
it's
do-
a great place for entrepreneurship. I love it here.
Yeah,
Right,
it is.
little
But you know what? He
Jeffrey.
moved. He moved this month to Puerto Rico. You know, you pay no federal income tax in Puerto Rico, and he's there for a while. He moved
Oh,
out. He moved
smart
his
guy.
residence.
California's in deep trouble, according to my colleagues
California is bankrupt. California is way in the hole. And it's also not a very, talk to any small business person here. It's a very hostile environment to start a business. And all of them will tell you that the number one cost of doing business is meeting regulations. The regulations are just unbelievable. The cost of
Nick knows that. He's come from the construction industry.
yeah.
He knows about
you
regulation
understand
in
that.
California. I mean, how it destroys.
So Dakota Saunders, what's up with you, my man?
Not much. I saw your little cheeky comment right there.
Yeah, I know. Damn
what-
Swedish hot chicks are destroying England. When I go there to
Really?
teach, I always meet them. And also the hot Czech and Polish chicks who work at the McDonald's and behind the sandwich counters. They're just destroying it.
I like fish and chips.
What part of the country are you going to?
London. London,
Real
more
London.
specifically, Canary Wharf. They're just
Oh,
all
really?
over the place. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. I have a
it's
friend
quite
that lives on Canary Wharf.
it's quite disturbing to me, and quite distracting. Abortion illegal would be absolutely ridiculous. Women have a right to choose. If that's really his position, he would have said it.
But that's a liberal man, mantras. That's no problem. But I mean, what do you go for? The late term abortion. Is there an end to it? If
I
a
don't
woman
know.
has an abortion at 9 months,
Well, you know what? Like with the Zika virus, you don't know that your baby's completely screwed until about 4 or 5 months. Now, what are you going to do there?
You know,
Okay, late
Right,
term
do an after-birth abortion. What are you going to do, Nick?
Yeah, abort. It's cruel to bring a child into the world to suffer like that.
Considering it's Mother's Day, and my mother often lamented that there weren't enough coat hangers around to do me. I don't know what to say. These are all complex issues. But
Ross, where are you from originally?
I'm from God, I hate to get it even out of my mouth. I'm from that cesspit, Los Angeles.
L.A.
I moved to San Diego 6 months ago, and I've never been happier.
Where in
This is
L.A.?
Well, originally the South Bay, Torrance, Hawthorne.
Yeah.
But once I became an adult, I moved to the West Side and lived in Culver City, West LA, Marina Del Rey.
Nice.
Venice.
Nice. My mom was born in Burbank, 1925. My
Oh,
dad's born in
Burbank.
1923.
To drive from where I lived on the West Side to Burbank would take an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours at the wrong time of day.
Traffic, yeah.
Here in San Diego at 6 p.m, I can get 30, I can do 30 miles in 40 minutes.
It's
It depends there,
Yeah.
Ross, buddy. I lived in San Diego for a while, and the traffic was hideous. And at times, it's hideous. It's all over Southern California. I mean, Southern California is the worst place in the country for traffic.
You
except for
get rid
maybe
of all those illegals.
Manhattan.
Clear it up. Get rid of all those illegals. You clear up the traffic.
You know what?
Bob,
I'll tell you
Bob,
something
Bob.
interesting. Robert, I know that was a joke, but I'll tell you something interesting.
Go ahead.
Whether it was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when I lived in LA, the kitchen workers all went on strike, and the restaurants virtually closed down. It was very interesting. I don't know that the economy of California, first of all, is bankrupt, but it'd probably be worse were it not for the underground economy that is running there and is that is.
Well, when we coddle able-bodied people and tell them they don't need to work, we're going to take care of them, instead of saying you need to get out there and be productive. That's
I
when we
agree
run
with
into these
that.
problems.
Bob,
I agree with
Bob,
you.
You're a Republican in Central Valley. You realize that all the Republicans in Central Valley who own the farms, they're
Right.
all pro-immigration.
I understand that.
And they'll take illegals and pay them. They don't.
Right, but
as
they're
long as
all
they
about
pay for them.
themselves. But I'm pro-American, and the bottom line is, if you hire someone who's illegal and you know they're illegal, you need to pay a price for that.
And Trump has hired thousands.
He has contracts just like you did. I'm sure you hired thousands of illegal bastards running around there, didn't you? You hired them all. Intentionally, each one of your guys you hired. Come on.
What about Trump and all the over 1,000 documented, undocumented workers? Okay, that Trump has made a fortune doing that, and you're voting
I'm
for it.
talking about the other illegal alien problem, which is people who overstay their visas. And I know many hot Swedish chicks who come here to go to school, and then they don't want to leave, and they populate Southern
Your
California
bedroom
with
and
their
your house. Yes. We understand
Yes, and it's disgraceful, and I want the government to clamp
that. And I'm
down.
going to call the fire department for the zoning code. You have too many people in your damn house, man.
And I want them to send them to me for disciplining.
I gotta say
I
one thing.
gotta go. I go, Mr. Conrad, I think you should, if you want to interview me, I'm joyous to do it. Just contact me, ross@seduction.com. ross@seduction.com. It's easy to get in touch with me.
You know what? I've got a form. I'll send to you. Fill it out. I'm
It's
sort
like
of
fill it out
backlog
and
right now in the
interpret it.
interviews.
It's like the poor guys that need Viagra to get it up. I mean, it's sad to me.
You know what, Nicholas? That is a. I understand that position. If you saw the quality of guys who come through, you'd see that a lot of them are successful business people, and they just never learned. The idea that it's a skill set that you should naturally have, I think, needs to be re-examined, because it's not. Those skills are learned, and many people never learn them. Many people have been abused, are severely impacted by emotional trauma. So it's a dismissive and unexamined position, but many people hold it. So With that note, I'm going to go.
Hey, thanks, Ross. By the way, the
yeah.
Art of Charm, they Nick, they do a service, and they're very popular. They're in the top like 50 in podcasts, which is amazing. You make a lot of money.
I was one of their original interviewees. I'm well aware of it.
You make a lot of money if you're in the top 50. They're just off the marketing alone. They should be able to make a couple $100,000 a year.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah. No, just off the
It's
marketing.
always about money. How about bringing joy to people? So I can get people on the
Hey,
side
I
of
do
the
that.
off.
You take a guy from none to a lot, he's joyous.
Hey, Ross, one thing I
And
got
on
to
that
say over
note-
here. No,
Yeah.
Ross, hold a second. This is no kidding story. One of the reasons my wife didn't want to come to Reno, because we had daughters who were 13, 15 at the time, or 14, is because of prostitution, gambling, and all this and that. Well, about 6 months ago, my wife went out to the big industrial center. It's the world's largest, Reno Tahoe. And one of the developers, the person who put it together, is the guy who owns the Mustang Ranch. And he said, I really like this guy. He's a great guy, you know. So it's funny how people change perspectives. I thought that was, Karen, Nick, right? Nick's frozen, but the guy who I can't think of his name right now, but he's actually pretty well liked in town, and he's done a lot of things, and it's one of the more successful brothels here. But you don't have any brothels in our county, but it's the next county over, Story County.
Oh, you do, Bill. You just don't know about them.
Well, I run a cat house myself.
Yeah, you got a cat house right there in California. Hey, let's finish it up. Hey, Ross, we want to thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Take
My
care.
cat
I'll
says
send that
goodnight.
email as soon as we're done here with that link. If you just fill out the form.
And you're right about California. We're
What about-
bankrupt.
What is the status of the finances in California right now?
We're bankrupt. We're
You know
probably
more than I do. I mean,
50 billion in holes with CalPERS at least, if not
the
100
obligations,
billion.
right?
Sure.
It's the obligations, but cash flow wise, you seem to be doing okay.
Well, Bill, it's creative
It's all about
bookkeeping.
cash flow.
Creative bookkeeping, Bill. That's a lot of it has to do with that. But
It's
you know,
cash flow.
I got to say, there's a couple people say, Bob, you're so out of touch, and I really like people to tell me where I am out of touch, and also about late-term abortion. Late-term abortion is a real thing. Look it up. It's not something I made up. Look it
Nick,
up.
I think you and I have the same perspective on that. We have the three exceptions, and
Rape, incest, life of the mother. But late-term abortion, unless again, that's life of the mother. That's some crazy stuff out there. But yeah, I'm a realist. That's my problem. Like I said, we have to have borders, or we don't have a country. When you have a Secretary of State saying we need to have a borderless world, Bill, we got a problem there.
I was thinking, like in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the border there. I mean, it's the poorest border, and look what you have. You have people running back and forth and killing people and running back across.
How many illegal? You said young kids had made it across the border the last month or so.
I just saw it in the last 90 days. 26,000. What they're doing is they're allowing them to come across the border if you're a juvenile. I literally come across the border and surrender. It's like the wet foot system. If you come from Cuba and can touch the United States, you're sanctioned.
Right.
They're coming in right now under a sanction program, and these kids don't know about that. It's more,
it's under 18, so you have 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds who say, "I'm 16, I'm this." And what I read in the last budget is Obama has set aside $17,613 for every minor coming across the border.
Yeah. Well, so I got a question. You want people to stay in their own countries, ideally. So you want to make an environment within that country where it's good. How do you do that in Mexico?
Well, Bill, Mexico's corrupt. The bottom line is they're corrupt. The government owns almost all their oil production, I believe, and you have the cartels just running wild. It's a corrupt country. Well, that's why when I see these people who say, "Make America Mexico again," why? You left Mexico to what you ran from. I don't get that. I'd love someone to explain that to me. Why?
Yeah, I thought we had a pretty good show today. Our podcast is doing well. Starting to pick up steam. I posted last night. I was a little late. I did it pretty fast.
Yeah, I was waiting for your call. I almost didn't sleep all night just sitting by the phone.
Sorry about that. You know what? I got so late. I ended up going to, and I got yelled at by Karen. Cut this off. Hey, wave goodbye. Wave goodbye to the show. Stay on, but
it was Mother's Day.
Candidates, in my opinion. I mean, I can't even really stand Bernie, but Trump.
Wow.
Yeah. When I see Trump, though, I just don't.
Why don't you like Bernie?
He doesn't like Bernie.
Why? Why don't you like him?
Really? First of all, I don't think $15 minimum wage is reasonable. I live in Indiana, and here,
states.
I work in the tech sector, and I don't make $15. Entry level. What are they gonna do? Give McDonald's workers here?
Come on, Mike.
No.
Say this: $50 an hour. Would you like fries with that, sir?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You're an interesting
That's not gonna
combination.
happen.
No, that's why we need it by state. States need to decide what the
Yeah,
minimum wage.
I agree. I think like we need a federal minimum wage of maybe like $8 or $9, like just to keep up with inflation. Like, but
That's where it is.
Leave it with the state.
it's at $7.25 right now.
Federal.
I'd leave
Is
it
it
with the
federal?
states.
I thought it was a little bit higher than that.
No, it's been at $7.25 since
Yeah.
I started working. Honestly,
But then the
past,
states,
like,
all states are higher. Just about all states are higher, aren't they?
Yeah.
yeah. A lot, and I mean, even McDonald's has like raised their like corporate minimum wage. But
What do you
like
do in
8
tech?
I do cybersecurity.
Oh, really? Who? I mean, you can say who for?
Hillary Clinton?
I'd rather not say where
I got to ask you. I got to ask you. I know I've got a little background. What do you think of her email situation?
There you
The
go.
server.
I think,
And you trust her?
I think she definitely compromised her security, but I think that given the fact that I don't think she did it thinking it would blow up this much, obviously. I think now it's
Most criminals don't think they're going to get caught. I hate to tell you. They really
but
don't.
she wasn't doing what's the crime? So the crime is
Well,
she potentially
but-
gave up
well-
important information, right?
By putting information that could put people at risk. She was basically, I believe, sharing some of this information with those in the Clinton Foundation were donating.
I
And
have
I think
no
that's
idea
bad.
why she did what she did after the brief that she received.
And the bottom line is she signed a thing saying she would not do what she did.
I know. I have no idea why she did what she did.
So why should she, when you believe her, if she becomes president, when she takes the oath, how the hell can you believe what she says? Does she really
No.
believe the oath?
Okay. I think that this is a problem that you have a lot now is people don't view like internet security the same. I don't think she was thinking about it as a serious issue. That's just my opinion.
You know
A lot
what
of
though?
people-
She took the same briefs that I took.
Oh,
She had
yeah?
the same brief that I had.
You probably know more about that than I do then, honestly. Personally though, like that
And
doesn't
had to sign off in the
Hey,
department.
Mike, just to let you know, my buddy down here, he's a West Point grad. He used to be a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, an absolute great guy. I ran his campaigns. He was a city councilman in the city of Modesto, should have been mayor
Oh,
and higher.
wow.
He's a really good guy. And he went to Afghanistan, serving our country. And his son now is in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, going down
helicopter
to
pilot.
Puerto Rico next month for his
Yeah,
next tour.
Wow.
So he's this is a real American hero. This is the no bullshit
Yeah,
guy.
No, I
hero.
respect that. You seem like a smart dude too.
I'm not smart. That's the thing. I need a little more intelligence here.
If he was smart, he would have listened to me, and he'd be president by now.
Bob knows.
Okay,
I
here's-
go run
so-
head on.
Bill, do you support Trump or Bernie or
I didn't support Trump till this week, fully.
because he basically is the only Republican candidate left?
Yeah, he's the only Republican, and I think he's better than what others might have. The other thing one characteristic I do like, he likes to win. I think that spirit of
Does.
winning is important.
It is. That's definitely a leadership quality.
Just win, baby.
And I think Bernie is a pretty honest, straightforward guy. I don't believe in socialism at all. I mean, but I think
Yeah.
he's probably the most, of all the people, I think he's probably the most straightforward, honest person. Nick is right there. Well, about the only thing I agree with Nick today, the only thing is that Bernie Sanders can probably pass the lie detector test. But probably, I know as a candidate, who knows?
Well, he could take the lie detector test while sitting on Fidel Castro's lap, discussing what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah, it's tough. Foreign policy is a tough thing. So, Mike, again, what city in? He froze. We do want to get a Mike on the show, get a good microphone, and come on up. Let me pause this. Bob, we didn't do this, but what's your forecast for next week?
They're going to go after Trump. They're going to try to kill him as they have been for the last few weeks. Republican establishment is eventually going to fall behind him as they should.
What's going
And,
to happen to Bush?
They need to put the focus on there.
What's going to happen to Bush, you think?
Yeah.
Was Bush going to just go away?
Oh, we don't care about the Bushes. I mean, we're all bushed out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what's your projection in the next couple of weeks? I'm going to finish up the show.
Projection in terms of the elections?
Mike Jacobson, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think now with Trump being the presumptive Republican nominee, he's going to try to start, shoring up the base, getting ready for the general elections. You're going to see a lot of attacks on him, and you're going to see things like what Paul Ryan did, where you know, people high up in the party are going to be skeptical about it still.
I do want you to get on, make contact with us, and come on with a good mic, and come on the regular show as a panelist.
Yeah.
It'd be good to have a combination.
That'd be cool. That'd be
I'll
cool.
meet the voter, meetthevoter.com.
Okay. I'll contact you. I'll check it out.
So Meet the Voter. You just Google Meet the Voter.
Cool.
Hey, folks, one little thing. It is Mother's Day. For all those mothers out there, thank you. Thank you, my mom, very, very much. We did mention Burbank, 1925. I wish I was down there right now. I'd love to go out and have a nice time and walk on the beach with my mom, or take a walk in the mountains with my mom. That's nice too. But if I'll be with my wife and family, so it's very good. Everybody, thank you for checking in. Just find us at meetthevoter.com. Just Google Meet the Voter, and you can find our contact information. Thanks.